वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मव्यामोहदस्तदितराणि प्रणायने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये माता पिता विपदैस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं विदेह नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य कुलपते वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमन्तदन्तियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्नात् भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसार गुणशेखर योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणु परकाल यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् पूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य दरिद्रशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कलितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानाथं को न याति परागतिं वेदवेदिके परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेत सादासि साक्षात् रामायणमना अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशम् अक्षरन्तारं वन्दे लङ्का भयङ्करं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि आञ्जनेयमरिपाटलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमनीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम्. Very evening to the gathering. With the presence of Lord Sri Venkateshwara here and with the blessings of Padmavati and Lord Sri Srinivasa and all the Ardas and Acharyas, we will have the fortune to listen to Ramayana from today, because day one with Sita Kalyan is already over. From today with Paduka Pattabhishekam till Rama Pattabhishekam on the 6th day, which is the Friday. So in these set of 6 days, what we will see is just the essence of Srimad Ramayana, because Ramayana has 24,000 verses, and even if we would take away the number of verses of Uttarakandam, what we will get is the 6 cantos: Bala, Ayodhya, Aranya, Kishkinda, Sundara, Yuddha Kandams, which ends with Rama Pattabhishekam. So we will have close to 22,000 plus verses, and to even recite those verses it will take more than 6 to 7 days, 2 hours if we get. So to bring the essence of all the 6 days lectures may be slightly tough. So what we need to understand is how we can learn Ramayana and those facets of Ramayana which are lesser heard of. So that is one major thing that we will need to consider during this session. So yesterday we started with the birth of Lord Sri Rama and then culminated with the marriage of Sita with Rama. Today we need to witness for how many years they stayed in Ayodhya. Every kandam, every canto is named after a certain incident or in general an event. Now let us take for example Bala Kandam. He talks about the period before Ram was born, what were the circumstances that led to his birth, how he was born, what he performed after he was born, until he married Sita and lived with Sita for another set of 12 years in Ayodhya. So it talks about pre-Ram, Ram with Sita, and both of them living happily together in Ayodhya. So 0 to 24 years of age of Ram is being brought to us by Balakandam. This canto has close to 2500 plus verses. But the next canto is Ayodhya Kanda, which we will witness today. This has got 7500 plus verses. For 24 years of Ram, we had 2500 plus verses. Now at the 25th year, the events that happened in 3 days, we have got 7500 plus verses. So imagine the emotions that will be rooted in this canto. And this is called Kandam. The way we split chapters in every scripture varies. In Ramayana, it is Kandam, Bala Kandam, Ayodhya Kandam, so on. In Mahabharata, it is in terms of Parvas, Adi Parva, Sabha Parva, Anushasana Parva, Shanti Parva, and so on. Vishnu Purana is in terms of Vamsham, that is Prathamu Vamsham, that is you have got the first, second, third. Then if you go to Bhagavad Gita, it is Adhyayam, Pratamo Adhyayam, Dvitiyo Adhyayam. If you go to Vedanta Deshika's Paduka Sahasram, it is Paddhati, Prathama Paddhati, Dvitiya Paddhati. If you go to Venkatadhari's Lakshmi Sahasram, it is Stavakam, Prathama Stavakam, Dvitiya Stavakam, Dashavatara Stavakam, and so on. So the way we split chapters, the word chapter itself has got various names in Sanskrit. Now we are in Ayodhya Kanda. Ram and Sita, Ram was at the age of 12, Sita was at the age of 6, the age difference was 6, they were brought to Ayodhya, they lived happily for another set of 12 years in Ayodhya. So now Ram was done with 24, his 25th year was to start, Sita was 18, that is when Dasharatha goes and stands before a mirror. After a long time of his administration, he had time only then. So he went and stood before the mirror and then he wanted to comb. That is when he noticed one white hair. One white hair after so many years. He noticed. And that hair was coiled around and it was so curly and it reached the ear, close to the ear. It seemed as if that strand of white hair was actually advising Dasharatha something. What is that advice? That is when Raghuvansham Kalidasa states, Tam karnamulamagatya Rameshri Nyasyata Idi Kaikeyi Shankayeva Paridachatmanajara. He was getting old. And that strand of white hair wanted to convey some information. Because when you want to tell a secret, you will go to the ear and tell. So what is the secret? Dasharatha, you have ruled for many years. Because as per some of the verses in Ramayana, both in Valmiki, Kambal and so on, we get to understand that Dasharatha ruled for 60,000 years. It is very tough, even for the most religious person, to understand this number of 60,000, one person ruling, not even living. If his ruling period itself is 60,000 years, how many years he would have lived? That becomes a bigger question. So we see no human being would have survived for so many years. And it is then where our Acharyas say, interpret it this way, they say. They say that for every yuga, the lifespan of people will keep changing. Even if you view that gap. Now if we have Shataman, Bhavati Shataya, Purusha Shatendriya, 100 years, we can add another 200, 300 and say 300 or 400. Okay, remotely acceptable. 60,000 years becomes too large a number. Because the number of yugas is only 4. Krita, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. So there is only one yuga between Kali Yuga and Treta Yuga. So even if you would extrapolate it using the scientific calculator, it should not give you more than 533 years. So what is the problem here? That is when we need to understand the book of Kautilya's Arthashastra, where he states that if there is one administrator, a king, and he rules his kingdom in an efficient manner, he is very sincere, honest, No official under him can be a corrupt official. He himself should not be corrupt. There should be no coal allocation scam. There should be no other scams. There should be no scandal. There should be no so-long scam. So if there are no scams, no controversies, all his ministers are responsible ministers who will talk whatever is required only in the public, then his 1 year of regime is equal to 1,000 years of a normal king. This is the calculation that they give. So Dasharatha must have been an able administrator. If he has to father Ram, at least a few qualities of Ram should be inside. So 60 years he would have ruled. That is why they say 60,000 years. So is there an example? When Hanuman visits Sita in Lanka, he comes back to India, to Bellary district, Kishkinda Rajya, near Shivamukha Parvata, where Ram is stationed along with Sugriva and the monkey army. He comes and tells, Ram, I saw Sita. We will witness on the 5th day. I am sure all of you have vowed to come for all the 6 days. So on the 5th day, we will get to see Anguli of Pradhanam, where Hanuman will come and inform Ram that he has seen Sita. That is when he will stay. You know what is the state of Sita, their Ram? For her, every minute that she is living there is equal to a yuga, because she is without you. Panikala varijam kole niram kushi padabolu yugamaga gadikale prayasi ninaitande Ravana annalvara chi chi nillada என்று ஏசி தடுத்து தன் உயிர் தன்னை தாண்டிட மகராசி சாரும் போதே காணும் சமக நீந்தேவாசி இனி தாமரம் செயல் ஆராதனிடம் பேசி ராமா 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 என்றது பேசி கண்டேன் 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 சீதையை Pagal Oru Yugamaga, for her every daytime is equal to 1 yuga. So you always have the concept of scaling. They say that the distance between Detroit and Pittsburgh is say 3 millimeters on the map. It is not 3 millimeters in reality, because 1 millimeter may equal 100 miles in reality. So you scale it. So he ruled for so many years. Even if it is 60 years, it is too much for one person to rule. Maximum you can only 2 terms in this country to write 5 plus 5. He has ruled for how many? 5 now? 12 terms. It is too high a number. So he wanted to give away this kingdom at the hands of an able person. That is what an existing ruler should always think. So he wanted to give it to the eldest of his sons called Ram. He loved Ram more than his life. So he wanted to give it to Ram. That is when he goes and consults with the people. He goes and asks the people, is my son Ram able and capable of being the higher apparent, Yuvaraja? In those days, it was a dynasty rule. The father will rule, next his son will rule, next his son will rule. This is the dynasty rule. Despite being a dynasty rule, they were democratic. They wanted to go ask the people if my son is capable of ruling. Despite being dynastic in nature, they wanted to be democrats in reality. But today in our country, we say we are democrats. But what may happen is their son, their grandson will rule. So it is dynastic in nature. So despite being dynastic, they were democratic. We call ourselves democratic if we are dynastic. So he wanted to consult with the people if my son is capable of ruling. That is when they say, Ichchamo hi mahabahum raghuviram mahabalam gajena mahatayantam ramam chhatrabritanam. Ichchamo hi mahabahum. The people say, we can only wish, Dasharatha. Ichchamo hi. We can only wish. We say, right, Ashadam Padamudi. We can only wish, but it is you who can execute it. Ichchamo hi. Remember, you are asking that if my son Ram has the ability, look at his hands. Mahabahum. He has got long hands. Because in those days, to be a Kshatriya, you know, the policeman recruitment in India, what they will do is they will measure your chest, hip.
After that, it will expand once they get in status. But when you are being recruited, you should fit certain measurements. So in those days, to see if you are a Kshatriya, you should be over 16 years of age. Only if you are above 16, you are eligible to fight. One, your hands should be long, but it should not be translated in the local language. In Tamil, kai romba neelam appadina the meaning is different. That means he can physically abuse someone. That is not the meaning here. He should have long hands, which means he can protect his citizens. Ichhamo mahabahum. The people said, you are questioning about Ram's capability? He comes in the clan of the king called Raghu. Raghuviram Mahabalam. You know, he has got the power to defend his citizens. Mahabalam. Gajena Mahatayantam. You know how we want to see him, Dasharatha? We want to see him in a state where he sits on the elephant called Shrutanjaya and comes under the shade of a beautiful silver umbrella. Gajena Mahatayantam Ramam Chhatravrtanam. He has to come in the shelter of the umbrella. So we wish. This is what Valmiki states. But you should see the beautiful description the Tamil poet Kamban gives. It seems Dasharatha went and asked his citizens if Ram is capable. People said, yes, he is capable because his wife is a nice lady. If he is capable, they say, speak about the wife, because more than the ministers, his sons and wives are caught in bigger scams. So if the wife is less avaricious and less materialistic, that itself will be a huge relief for the king. Tariyilum the Lord, states Kamban. So that is when Dasharatha decides that he has to coronate his son Ram. He says, call Ram. So Ram has to walk. Dirghavahum mahasatvam mattamatangayaminam. When Ram walks, he will walk with the gait of an elephant. At times he will walk with the gait of a tiger. Gajasimha gati virau shardula vrishabhopamau, states Valmiki. When he has to walk to the wall, he will walk like a lion. When he has to walk inside the darbar, the court, he will walk like an elephant. If he has to walk like a spy, he will take the route of a snake. 4 types of walk. Chaturgatihi, if you have somewhere remotely, if you can understand Vishnu Sahasranam name-wise, because some of them will say, so no sir, if you start from the first only, you will be able to associate Vishnu, then it will take time for me. So there is one name that comes called Chaturgatihi, Chaturatma, Chaturvyuhaha, all these names come. So Chaturgatihi, he walked like 4. So Ram used to walk like these 4 animals to indicate that he had that royal gait. Nevertheless, our preceptors, our acharyas would question, you say that Ram walked like this, Ram walked like that, but we did not live during the times of Ram. Even if we have lived, we don't remember what happened yesterday or today. That confidence only I am telling you the same discourse again and again. So, forget about the last birth. But in the previous birth, we don't remember. So that is when our Acharya state, don't worry if you have not witnessed these 4 types of gait, the walk in Ram, you will get to witness that in Namperumal of Srirangam. When the Lord walks, you can see the same kind of gait that Valmiki witnessed. Namperumal Akkarile Kanalam. So Ram used to walk like that. He used to walk like an elephant. Now comes the question. Why should he walk like an elephant? Because elephant's walk is good, is what Valmiki states. I am very much afraid of elephants. So I have not seen properly an elephant walk. So we do not know how it exactly works. But why should he be compared to elephant? That is when Vedanta Deshika teaches him. In Tattvatika, he uses a very Chatarushani, he uses a very beautiful description. In Ramayana, Ram is treated as a very orthodox person. You know what orthodoxy means? Acharam, we state. That he will, as per Acharam, if we have to live today, then we are not living even 0.01% as per our Acharam. Now people may say, hygiene is Acharam. Yes, cleanliness and hygiene is Acharam, no doubt. But beyond that is Acharam, because Shastras generally don't state what is good for the body. It will state what is good for the Atma. If Reader's Digest suggests that there are 15 benefits of consuming garlic, Shastram states Kalanjantam na bhakshayet. Now we will be wondering, there is a patent to state garlic reduces cholesterol, but you are telling don't take garlic because garlic may induce a guna which may not be good for the Atma. What is obvious is exemplified by science. What is beyond obvious is told by Shastras. So we have to choose between the two. If Robert Frost said two roads diverged in a yellow wood, then sorry I could not travel both. And we one traveller long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it went in the undergrowth in the road not taken. We should understand which path to take. That is making a compromise. You know, in way back if you speak to the auto rickshaw, he will tell, sir, give me 100, we will talk for 50. Then he will say, 75. So half the day is garlic, half the day is no garlic, doesn't make any sense. Choose between the two. Either you can drench yourself in garlic or you can move away from garlic, one of the two. So if we go by Shastras, you know, Vedanta Deshika has incidentally given one verse called Ahara Niyamam, 21 verses. If you read that, you will completely get depressed. He says that whatever we cook, within 3 hours we have to consume. Any food consumed after 3 hours of cooking is bad for the Atma, he states. Whereas, we have created devices that can store food for years together. When I went to a house, they served sambar, Pattabhishekam. What a nice sambar. Same taste like last year. It's the same sambar. So, there are yantras. If you keep things inside, you can take it out and then put it inside another yantram. Gadayastam jagat chakram kala chakram dukasashram vayilkapane manikadabam tartiravai. He will come and ask you to open the door. If you open, you will get hot food, and if you sprinkle coriander over it, it will look So he says, see, all this is not practical for us. One. Then he tells us those vegetables that are not to be consumed. What we will be left is only 3 or 4. Next, he says that whatever food has been licked by the dog, seen by a cat, rice upon which a crow would have sat, all this should not be consumed. If you spot a little strand of hair also, that food, entire food should not be consumed. But now we have created one formula. If you see one hair, the relationship will go. So, Ahara Niyam is very tough. So, to live in a very orthodox fashion is, see, they say that you will have to bathe only in well water. Today, where is the well? We do not know. So, there are so many aspects. Milk, if you go to milk, it says, Shastram tells you to get milk from a certain cow whose nadi runs from the horn till the hump. And then you should take milk from that cow. First you have, the calf has the right to get the milk from the cow. The remaining milk has to be taken by us. And that milk has to be boiled only once. Today we are already getting pasteurized milk. And in that we get 3.75%, 4.5% without fat, with fat, over fat. So many categories, so we get confused. So to follow those rules is very tough. But Ram was one avataram, Rama avataram, where he followed orthodoxy. Dharmo vigrahama dharma virami. For his varna, whatever was required. Now you may have a doubt whether he had knowledge. If that varna could consume knowledge, he would have had knowledge. Hinduism doesn't, Sanatana Dharma doesn't propagate vegetarianism for everyone. It states that certain classes should not consume, certain classes may consume. If they want to be vegetarians, they can. But Shastram states, pancha nakhaha bhukshya. 5 male, 5 animals' flesh can be consumed in certain days by certain classes. It will not cause any harm to their Atma on those days. There is a rule. So, Ram was very orthodox, but if I were to talk Krishna Avataram, all this will not come into picture at all. Because the commentator Priyavachan Pillai asks, you will have to spot the missing Ram and missing Krishna. If you remember, in 1980s, we used to get only 1 or 2 channels, TV channels in India. Today, it is running for thousands of channels. In those days, we used to get only 2. And at the end of the day, we get news only once a day. Today, the same news is repeated again and again and again and again. It's longer than the Sudarshana Homa Avriti. Same news. So So we used to get news only once a day. There used to be one portion called missing, Kanavillai. They used to say, "Ivar Kanavillai, rendu kaiyodu, rendu kaalalodu, mukathodu, oru vaayodu, oru oru Kanavillai." Avadu paatha namakku adhe madhiri. So this is Kanavillai section. So Periyavachan Pillai states, Ram is missing, so is Krishna. So where do we spot them? Ramanai Sedu Sarayukkarayil Tirthamaadu Kattathile Kaanalam. It seems Vasishtha told Ram, next day you will be coronated, Ram. So tonight you go sleep in the Sanctum Sanctorum, outside the Sanctum Sanctorum of Lord Ranganatha in Ayodhya. Next to you, your wife should be sleeping. He said, but Ram, ensure that no lady's sari touches you. Nobody touches you. That's what he said. Ram was sleeping with Sita. Sita mommy slept like this. Her pallu, sari's pallu slightly touched Ram. What Vasishtha meant was anybody but Sita. Sita can touch but nobody else. But Ram brought Sita also in that category. So when slight pallu touched him, he immediately went to Sarayu Nadi and took bath. This is what Periyavachan states. Now where can we find the missing Krishna? It seems Krishna used to dress himself with the pallu of the sari of the lady, Gopika Stri, who has not bathed for 1 year. கார்த்திகை நாள் உடம்பு விட்டு தலை குடிக்க கூடிய அவள் பிராயத்திலே கோபிமார்கள் புரிஷகத்தே காணலாம். So this is the difference. So Ram is very orthodox. So he is described as the one who has got elephant feet. What does elephant have to do with the feet? Because as per Shastram, you can never consume food directly with your mouth. You will have to use your hands to consume. Spoon is okay. So you can use spoon or your hand. You should not eat it like this. See, having ice cream in a cone is wrong. Having it in a cup is okay. You are getting the difference? So you should not. As per the Shastram, you cannot eat it directly. Amongst animals like cats, dogs, they all eat it directly with the mouth. How does elephant eat? Not with the 4 limbs. With a special element called the trunk, that is called Tumbi Kai. So it consumes that, so it is Acharam. So Ram is being compared to the orthodox elephant. Who was he assisted during the construction of Setu? By the monkeys. How do the monkeys consume food? With their hands. Who assisted the monkeys? Squirrels. How do squirrels consume food? Hands. So Vedanta Deshika states in Shatadushani that the orthodox Ram is being compared to the orthodox elephant who was in turn served by the orthodox monkeys who were in turn assisted by the orthodox squirrels. There is Krishna Avataram, he fed the cat. Krishna used to feed the cat with butter because there is no need for acharam there. So he can do the way he wants. So one is idealistic and the other one is realistic. Here, Ram was informed that he will be ruling Ayodhya. He will be the higher apparent. Bhuyo vinayamasthaya bhavanityam jitendriyaha kamakrodha samuthani tyajasya vyasanani cha. Dasharatha said, Ram, come. Because Dasharatha generally had this habit. Kulashekara Alva states, it seems he used to look at Ram and say, Ram, come, walk. Ram used to walk. Go, used to go, walk again. You do this to your children. You see what is the treatment you are needed. Walk, go. So Ram used to come and used to go. Why did he do so? The commentator states, because when Ram used to walk, Dasharatha used to have a glimpse of Ram's front beauty. And when he used to go back, he used to see the beauty from the back. If you go to Melukote Tirunarayanappuram, even today in Karnataka, there is a famous utsavam called Vairamudi Sevai. So in that night, the Lord will be adorned with a diamond-studded crown, and there will be 100 people walking in front of the Lord, and there will be 4,99,500 walking behind. You may ask, why are you walking behind? Because if you walk from behind, you will be able to see the back beauty of the Lord. Because the Lord is so beautiful. States Tirumangayada. If you happen to go to India, and besides, and if there is some little time left besides going to Usman Road and Panagal Park, then you may visit Nagapattinam. That's a beautiful port city, ancient city. And there the Lord is called Saundarya Raja. Saundarya Rajam Bhaje Angajabda Vanasaranga Rajam Nandanandana Rajam Nagapattina Rajam. He's so handsome, very beautiful. It seems the best of the poets in the Alvars called Thirumangai Alvar, and he visited the Lord. He was amazed at this unadulterated beauty, and he wanted to choose the best of the words. He could not spot words in the dictionary that would fit the Lord's beauty. So he said, Acho, what can I describe? When you can't find the right words, you may end up using words which are even propagated at times. And at the end of the lecture, you are going out and somebody enters the temple and they ask, oh, you are attending the lecture? How was it? Are you? After that, I don't know what you will say. But at that point in time, even the word Ayyo gains auspiciousness. So the Lord was so beautiful. So Dushyanth used to say, come. Come, and you go and come. So Ram walked and he asked, Father, why have you called me? Because this avatar is about Pitruvakya Paripalanam. He used to treat his father like God. Next avatar is Matruvakya Paripalanam, Krishna avatar. So he asked his father. The father said, Kim nu chittam manushyanam anityamiti mevatam tad vyavadeva me chetaha kipurukhyati raghava. I have called you so that to inform you that tomorrow you are being coronated as a higher apparent, Yuvaraja. Father, so sudden. My brother Bharata is not there because Bharata, he was very much attached to his mother's brother, uncle. He lived in KK Desham, and wherever Bharata would go, Shatrugna would follow. Like how when Ram goes, Lakshmana would follow. Tacharamadulagulam Bharatena tathanagha Shatrugnaha Nitya Shatrugnaha Nita Priti Puraskritaha. So, here there is an instance where he states that my brother Bharata is missing. That is when the father states, Kimnu chittam manushyanam. That is why I am coronating in his absence. Because Bharata is not there. Ram, you are seeing Bharata's absence as the reason to postpone the coronation. But I see that as an advantage. Why, asks Ram? Because you do not know how human's mentality will be. Even if he is my own son, he may oppose. So I am saying, you know, the saddest part of Ramayana is when a great devotee like Bharata has been misunderstood by many people. He had to bear the sins what his mother had committed. Everybody misunderstood. In Ramayana, there is one pitiable character. It is not Rama, it is not Dasharatha, it is not Sita. They lived happily. But for the entire tenure of 14 years of Rama's exile, there is one person who has repented and cried every minute and every second. It is Bharata. Probably when we speak about Mahabharata, people will say, you know what, Karna is a very pitiable character. But as per Vyasa's original Mahabharata, there is no instance to prove that Karna was a good man. Most instances prove that he was a very jealous person. But we are known to create unknown heroes. Nowhere it is stated that he was so generous. There is one instance where he gave the Kavacha Kundalam to Indra and got something back in return. But we have created one huge aura around Karna. People even in singing competitions, if people see their mommies and mamas are crying along with them. That is my research for today. Generally, if there are singing competitions in TV channels, everybody watches. Mommies and mama dancing with their tummies. But in Ramayana lecture, they will think, so, Ichamoni Mahabharata, Here he says, Kimnu chittam manushyana. Why should I wait for Bharata's presence? Human mentality is very unpredictable, so I want to coronate you. That is when he calls Sumantra. Sumantra was a charioteer to Dasharatha. He was also one of the ministers. In those days, eligible, capable, intelligent, smart people will become ministers. And if they are smart enough to guide the king, they will end up being the charioteer also. But today, most charioteers have become ministers. So, if you want to really check if they are really capable or not, they will come and study what ministry they are in. So that is why Arjuna recruited the best of the kings as his charioteer. Partha Sarathi, Neenamar Koigai, Nanmalar Koivan, Vedkaino Shanadit, Kanamar Vedam Kayadad, Alar Karadam Kalinkarva, Anayinduyam Tira Pulmurd, Shendru, Nindru, Aidotane, Denamar Sholai, Madama Maile, Tirvalvike, Nigate. That is the only place where he stands with a white mustache. You see, in Krishna Avatar, when the Lord was about to be born, 2 strands of hair were thrown, one black, one white. Isn't the child right in asking, how will the Lord have white hair? We can never say that he is getting old because he is called Bhanu in Sahasranam, ever young, always young. He can always sing Sindhura Puve because he is always 16. So he is so young. So, if you go to Parthasarathi, you see the white moustache and he is the one who will look very handsome with that moustache. So, the eligible person has to be the charioteer. Sumantra was the charioteer. He was informed by Dasharatha that tomorrow is the Pattabhishekam. Go and make all the arrangements. That is when Vasishtha gets to know of it. He summons Ram and Sita and tells them, you go and worship at the Sanctum Sanctorum of Ranganatha in Ayodhya, because originally the Lord, the Moola Murti and the Utsava Murti of Srirangam were originally stationed in Ayodhya because that was a gift bestowed upon the kings of Ikshvaku. So he lived in Ayodhya. But predicting the problems in the month of December of the 6th of the day, the Lord shifted his capital from Ayodhya back to Srirangam. So they all went to the temple of Ranganatha. Ranganayakam Bhavayeham Sri Ranganayaki. Who can forget the beautiful temple of Srirangam? What can match that temple? Sapta Prakara Madhye Sarasijamukudo Vasamani Vimani Kaveri Madhyadeshe Vedutara Manirat Bodhapariyanga Bhage Nidra Mudra Viramam Katingata Pashva Vinyasta Kastam Padma Dhatri Karabhyam Parichita Charanam Rangarajam Bhajeham states Parashara Bhatta. Vedanta Deshika states Antarjyotir Kimavyamina Manjanam Yoga Rishte Chintaratnam Surabhamihana Siddhi Mokshan Rupam Veena Anatha Vyasana Shamanam Deivatam Deivatanam Divyam Chakshuhu Shruti Parishadam Drishyate Rangamadhye. The Lord's face that resembles the full moon with the sesame flower like nose and coral like lips and lotus like eyes and ears that depict diamonds that are radiant than 1,000 suns that were cemented together in one socket, with a conch like neck and the broad chest that sports a mole called as Srivatsam, upon whom is seated Mahalakshmi with her red black-hued feet, and with a kaustubam that is resplendent 1,000 times more than the earrings that he sports, which acts as a mirror to the beautifully adorned Mahalakshmi, and with a thin hip which has a navi that has given rise to a kamalam where is seated Brahma. He has got hair which is curly. Vedanta Deshika states, Upyati, Chodi, Vachana Kutilaihi, Untalaihi, Sishtamule. The Lord's hair is as curly. He has to, see, a poet has to give a simile. He has to tell the Lord's hair is as curly as dash. That is a simile. What will he give as a simile? He said, a lady of the Chola country, if she is provoked and she gets angry, she will hit upon the opponent through words which are as curly as the Lord's hair. Kupyatu, if you generally talk to women of Kumbakonam or Tanjavur or Trichy, you have to be very careful. If you provoke them, they will shoot back with words which are more curly than the Lord's hair. Kupyatu choli vachana kutilai, he states Sridhar. I don't know to whom he had provoked and got this back. but he states it. So the Lord is as beautiful as this in Srirangam, and He is the one whose original address was Ayodhya, Ayodhya Main Road, Ayodhya. Then He later shifted to Srirangam. So Ram and Sita were in the sanctum of that Lord that night. That is when Manthara comes the next day. Manthara, I told you, she is called Kuni in Tamil because she is known by the Kun. Her original name is Manthara, but the Karana Namam is Kuni. Generally, that is the case. See, when you see in our country, if you see people carrying brinjals on their head to sell, and you want to buy, what will you call it? What will you call that person? You don't know the name of the person. What will you call it? You will understand. Telugulo Vankai kada. So you say Vankai, you know, because he is associated with what he is carrying. She had Kun, so she is called Kuni. So she came and she woke up Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi was sleeping. She was taking rest, power nap. So she was taking a power nap. That is when she comes and wakes up. Uttishta mudhe! You fool! Wake up. Kaikeyi woke up. You are talking to me? Am I a fool? Yes. Kim sesha bhayam tvana vivartate. You don't have an iota of fear in you, Kaikeyi. Why should I have a fear in me? Ramova Bharatova. I have given birth to a son called Ram who can protect me. That is the problem, she said. You spoke about Ram, right? He is the problem. He is the problem. What happened? I heard from people that he is going to be made the higher apparent tomorrow. He said, take these newly bought Hyderabad pearls. He said, I don't need pearls, and she threw those pearls away. You are throwing these pearls, Manthara? Why? Because Ram is not fit to be the heir apparent, said Manthara openly. How dare you call my son, my favorite son, the apple to my eye? Ram is inefficient and incapable. That is when she states. Now, Kaikeyi, can you give me one instance to prove that he had the valor to defend his citizens? Asks Manthara. That is when Kaikeyi states. Parashuraman garbam titabandi. So what? He has protected us, Manthara. So what? He is the one who is fit to become the king. But he's fit. Manthara said, you will never listen. You know what, Kaikeyi? The king calls you that you are the most favorite wife to him. But imagine, the news of Ram being made the heir apparent, the announcement has not reached you, it has reached me. Because the king ensures that this news doesn't reach you because he is worried that you may oppose. Why will I oppose, Manthara? There comes the point. See, when you were to be married to Dasharatha, you sought a promise that your son should become the king. Didn't you? Yes, I did. But now Ram, though he is not my son, he is like my son. Like your son. There is a difference between being your son and like your son. But I don't see the difference between Bharata and Ram. Manthara, Ramova, Bharatova, Kutoyo, Nomalakshaya. I don't see the difference. But we see the difference, Kaikeyi, and you will spot the difference in the days to come. How was Kaikeyi? You know, if Ram becomes the king, then in the years to come after his tenure, it is his son who will become the king. No, then he will give a chance to Bharata. Don't live in a world of assumptions. He will never give the kingdom to you and to your son. He will ensure that the kingdom belongs to him and his sons take over the reins after him. So what? It is son's rule. Are you used to washing utensils? You know how to wash utensils? No, I have never washed. We We used to have maid servants and Manthara, you know, whenever you had time, we used to wash. So I do not know how to wash, but learn that now. Because if Ram is made the king, Sita will put all the utensils for washing to you. You will have to serve them. Now she got the fear, who will wash utensils? So she was worried. No, but that is okay. But Ram will not let me do so. Don't make assumptions again. Did Ram, after having known the news, did he come and seek your blessings? Probably he is coming. If he is coming, he has not come till now. So I have got the ball in my court to say that Ram will never come. Okay. Now, but what is the harm in Ram becoming the king? No, one more thing. Kaikeyi. As a king, when Ram becomes a higher apparent, he may want to expand the provinces. To expand, you either need to friend the neighboring kingdom or you need to oppose the kingdom. Then only you can seize that region. There are two regions that are adjacent to Ayodhya, the province of Kosala. One is Mithila Nagaram, which is housed in the Videha province. The second is Kekeya Desham. One belongs to Ram's wife's father, that is Ram's father-in-law Janaka. The other belongs to Ram's stepmother's father. Now, if Ram has to annex those provinces to his kingdom, he will either friend or oppose. He will never oppose his father-in-law. That is the worst thing one can do in one's life. So he will not oppose his father-in-law. But he may oppose the father of his stepmother. So if Ram wins over your father's kingdom will be annexed. So your father will also end up assisting you in washing the utensils. Now intelligently Manthara moves the coin because Sigmund Freud said fathers love their daughters and mothers love their sons. Now she was worried about her father. So she said, what do I do now? That is when Manthara tells her, don't worry. You had sought two boons. You remember? When Manthara? Long back. It was the Sambharashura Yuddham when Dasharatha's appointed chauffeur, the charioteer, had taken leave. So when he had taken casual leave, he was left. He tried for many other drivers, nobody was available. That is when you pitched in and said, Dasharatha, I will be your charioteer. In those days, you know very well, there were three famous women drivers. One was Dasharatha Patni Kaikeyi. Second was Krishna Patni Satyabhama. Third was Arjuna Patni Subhadra. Three women drivers, great women drivers. One house I went. That mommy opened the door, the garage door. She was driving for me. She opened the door. Opposite wall was not there. So I asked that mama who was seated behind, why you don't have opposite wall? He said, my mommy doesn't know to take reverse. So she knew how to take reverse. So she wanted to ensure that she becomes a very good charioteer to Dasharatha. At the end of it, Dasharatha was so happy with her driving, she never used to change lanes unnecessarily. She used to look at a traffic light, she used to put indicator. So everything she followed. So immediately he said, I will give you two boons. She said, I don't need those boons now, I will put it in a fixed deposit. Now the time has come, Kaikeyi. The fixed deposit is maturing. Whether she matures or not, the deposit will mature. So it is coming with the interest. Interest has been approved. Go and ask Dasharatha. Kaikeyi, she immediately thought, okay, this is the right time that I have to do it. So she got angry. In those days, you had special rooms to get angry. Kopa Bhavana. Large house. If you are angry, you can go to that room. It's called Kopa Bhavana. You know, in Bombay, I lived for 5.5 years. I worked in Bombay. Then I shifted to Bangalore. So when I was in Bombay, I used to wonder. I used to go with my friend and he said, please come to my house. I went to open the door. I asked him, this is your living room? Yes, he said. Where is your bedroom? This is the living room. Where is the kitchen? This is the kitchen. No second room. So in Bombay, if you live, you can live anywhere else in this world. Small rooms. But here in Ayodhya, she had one room for getting angry, special room, and the entire room was painted red, black curtains. This is what he states. You know, in certain houses, they paint red inside the house. You will be confused whether you have landed up in a police station, post office. You see, color therapy, sir. So, she was there. She had kept her open head. She had taken away all the bangles, taken away all the studs. She was lying on the floor. Dasharatha as such had not passed on this information to anybody. The first news whom he had to officially convey was Sumantra, because he had to take care of the coronation arrangements. But he wanted to inform this news to Kaikeyi because he thought Kaikeyi is the one who showers unconditional love on Ram. So he came running towards her harem. He asked the Sayantika Stris, the hairdressers, because she used to do hairdressing every minute. So he asked, where is Kaikeyi? They said she is in Kopa Bhavanam. Why is she in Kopa Bhavanam? He went inside. The bangles were lying everywhere. That is when she was very angry, states the poet. Sagasa bharataya ibhamata namanyumattaya saatra madhyamaye tabe odaya adhigata rasa. Beautiful verse. You know, this is not from Valmiki Ramayana. This is from a Sanskrit work called Yadava Raghaviyam. Yadava Raghaviyam. This is being composed by a poet called Venkatadhari Kavi in Sanskrit 400 years back. This verse that I recited, Sagasa Bharataya Ibama Bhata Manyumattaya Saatra Madhyamaye Tabe Odaya Adhigata Rasa. Kaikeyi, who was angry at the decision of Dasharatha coronating his eldest son Ram as a heir apparent, got angry and got inside the Kopa Bhavanam. This is the meaning of the verse. Now I will reverse the verse. Whatever I said, I am going to reverse. Sarata Gatiyata Popeta Ya Madhyamatrasa Yatamanyu Mata Bhama Bhayeta Rabasarasa. I will reverse. When you reverse, you get the meaning of Krishna. Left to right, it will talk about Ram. Right to left, about Krishna. So this is called Yadava Raghaviyam. All the verses in this work will be like that. There are many such words. Raghava Pandaviyam, Pandava Naishadiyam. Extremely talented poets we had. The only beauty is we do not know how to appreciate them because they are deficient in the languages in which they have given that literature. We do not know. Excellent works we have got in Sanskrit. How the movement of a knight in a chessboard is, there is one shloka called Chaturanga Paddhati. Very beautiful. How the velocity, the speed of a tiger is Shardula Vikriditam. So many such meters. If you go to Narayanam of Narayana Bhattacharya, the last verse, Yogi Indranam Parangeshwadhika Sumadhuram Mukti Bhaja Nivaso Bhattanam Kamavarsha Salayam Nahare Padamulam Nityam Chittasthidam Me Paramuravade Krishna Karunya Sindho Krishna Karunya Sindho Ritva Nisheshatapan Pratishadu Paramananda Sandoha Lakshmi Pratishadu Paramananda Sandoha Lakshmi Ajñātvade Mahatvam Yadina Nigaditam Vishwanatha Kshametha Sotam Chaitanya Sahastrottaram Adhikataram Vaprasada Vibhuya Vedha Narayaniyam Shrutishu Sajanushastutyada Varnanena Svidam Leelavatarai Vihanya Kurutam Ayuhu Arogya Saukhyam Ayuhu Arogya Saukhyam. The person who reads Narayanam should be blessed with good health and prosperity. Ayuhu Arogya Saukhyam. Even after taking HbA1c, it should be in a normal range. No, none of the share value should come down. Ayuhu Arogya Saukhyam. This is the meaning. But incidentally, Narayana Bhattacharya belonged to a secret school of mathematics called Sangama Grama. I am talking, he lived in 1587. So I am talking about that period, and this school, secret school of mathematics begun in Kerala on the banks of river Bharatapuzha near Tirunavai, near Kuttipuram, 900 years before. There, these mathematicians belonged to the school and they knew how to code dates in their shlokas. Ayurarogya Saukhyam, 7-lettered word. Each letter has one number in Sanskrit. It is called Katapayadi Sankhya. So when you put those numbers and multiply them into 1 units place, tens place, hundreds place, thousands place, what you will get the resultant number as is 17,21,210, which corresponds to, when put in the software as per the Panchangam, as the 27th November 1587, which corresponds to Guruvayur Ekadashi or Kaishiki Ekadashi that year. So he completed the work. So he was the one foremost mathematicians who came with the concept of differentiation. We speak about differential calculus, right? He was the one who initiated that very thought process. So we have got great people. If I talk about that, the Ramayana concept will go. Now, the essential point I wanted to convey is we have had great poets in our country. So Manthara, when she asked Kaikeyi to ask for the boons, Kaikeyi asked these 2 boons from Dasharatha. Initially when she was lying on the ground, Dasharatha came and said, Kaikeyi, are you angry with me? Are you angry? Please wake up, Kaikeyi. Please wake up. I will give you what you want. Dasharatha was a king who used to promise in haste and repent in leisure. He will always promise in haste. I will give you what you want. Generally, parents should be very thoughtful when they commit with their children. Should think and you should always commit. So he said, I will give you what you want. So he thought again and again, I will give you what you want. Kaikeyi said, no, I will not get up. No, I promise. Kaikeyi, I promise in the name of Ram. Rame Namam. I will promise in the name of Ram that I will give you what you want. She got up. And now he has to sleep. She asked, I want 2 boons. One, my son Bharata should rule. Slight attack for Dasharatha. Second boon, you ask, Ram should go to the forest for 14 years. He slept completely. Massive attack. How could he think of the apple of his eye, Ram, moving away? That is why Bhagavad Gita, Krishna states with his past experience that always parents should have a detached attachment with their children. So you should know how to have that attachment in a very detached manner. So Dasharatha cries. That is when Kaikeyi says, you are nothing doing, you will have to grant me these 2 boons. Dasharatha says, is it you, Kaikeyi, who is asking? You were the one who always used to support Ram, and today you are asking for these 2 boons. I can't even think. I hope that this is a dream. Kaikeyi says, no, I think you, this is not a dream, this is reality. Why do you want Ram to go to the forest? Okay, I understand that Bharata has to rule the kingdom, okay. But why should Ram go to the forest? No, he has to go to the forest. You told that you promised. It doesn't matter. You never told me how the nature of the promises should be. You told me that I grant you 2 promises. And you also mentioned that I can ask whatever I desire. I have asked what I desire. It is in your hands to give. That is when Dasharatha tells, where will he go, Kaikeyi? I can't think of my son Ram walking in the forest with the thorns pricking his feet. I just can't even think. How will I live a single day without looking at his face? I can't imagine the day when I can stay without Ram, Kaikeyi. You know my position, Kaikeyi. You know it better than otherwise. Kaushalya and Sridhar, I never used to even care about their existence. It is you whom I always used to stay with, and today you are giving me a bigger agony than anything that I have faced in my life. Kaikeyi, please, I request you, take your boon back and ask for any other thing. She said, I cannot change. Now comes a major question. People will say, you are trying to position Kaikeyi like that. You know, I read in one magazine that she saw Ram's horoscope before. She wanted to send him to the forest because of so she said, very nicely. Whether she is nice or not is not, we cannot comment upon. But as a character has been posted by Valmiki is what my duty is. Bharata, the son of Kaikeyi, calls his mother Atmakama, Sadachandi, Krodhana, Prajnamani, self-centered, prestige-conscious, short-tempered, materialistic woman is my mother. He states, he gives a certificate. Atmakama, Sadachandi, Krodhana, Prajnamani. He will know her better than what we know. So we don't have to become advocates for Kaikeyi. So she was very, very decisive, and she also was very conclusive when she asked that her son Bharata should go and Ram should go to the forest. That is when Dasharatha tells, I know that our son Bharata is more virtuous than Ram, I know. But remember, if your son Bharata knows of it, he will not approve of your decision. Ramadapitam manye dharmato balavattaram atham rakshyami ramasya vanam gaccheti bhashane. He will not approve. But today, Kaikeyi, I repent for having given birth to a son like Ram. Kaikeyi asked, you repent? Why are you changing plates? Why are you turning courts? Why do you feel that you repent for having given birth to a son like Ram? All these days you are telling he's the apple of your eye, orange of the eye and all that. How dare you say that today? Dasharatha said, because I have given birth to an obedient son like Ram. Because if I tell him today, you go to the forest, he will say, okay father, and go. Had I given birth to a disobedient son, he would have lodged a case against me and would have stayed back here. Look at me, I repent for having given birth to an obedient son. Nalam vidiyam vajanam putro mam pratibhashitum savanam pravaraje jutva bhatamityeva bhakshyati yadi me raghavan purya vanam gaccheti choditaha pratikulam priyam mesyan nuvatsaha karishyati. Nothing doing Dasharatha. In whichever way you stay, Bharata has to rule, Ram has to go, Dasharatha tells. Today, I disown you as my wife. Disown you as my wife. And Bharata, the son who was of me till today, will have no rights to perform my final rites. Yasye mantra krita pani agnau pape maya dhritaha santyajami svaja chaiva tava putram sagatvaya. Sridhar, I am not bothered. Legally, even if you disown me, I will get the share of property through alimony. God. Immediately, Dasharatha, he says, Sumantra, go and summon Ram immediately. Ram had gone to worship Ranganatha along with Sita. Sahapatnyam Visalakshyam Narayanam Bhagamat. He went along with his wife Visalakshi. Who is his wife? Sita. As per the Ramayana sources we understand it is only Sita. Who is this Mrs. Visalakshi? Visalakshi is Sita because she had large eyes. Why should Valmiki take that pain in describing Sita as Visalakshi when Acharya used to stay? Because Ram is going with his wife to worship Ranganatha. He has to perform the Aradhana, the puja to the Lord. He has to do the Harati. What is it? Harati. It's not Arati. Harati. He has to perform the Harati. When he performs the Harati, he has to worship the Lord. But when you're performing the Harati, you do it like this. And simultaneously the bell has to shake. It is very tough. For some, this bell will go around and this will shake. So now Sita is wondering if her husband is adept enough in performing Aradhana. So she is looking at Ram and he used to do it very well. So out of the surprise, her eyes became large, it seems. One. Second, the Acharya states, the Lord is worshipping Ranganatha. The Lord is worshipping himself. So she was wondering, is the Lord who is worshipping who is Ram handsome? Or the Lord who is being worshipped Ranganatha handsome? But when she looked at Ranganatha, she felt he was handsome. When she looked back at Ram, she felt Ram was handsome. So he's so handsome. So she used to look at both these people and she was wondering, so her eyes became large. Sahapatnyam Visalakshyam Narayanam Bhagavat. That is when Sumantra comes and tells Ram, your father Dasharatha has summoned you, so you come. Ram went. And as he went, he looked at Sita's eyes and went. Because Shastram tells that for any activity to succeed, it has to receive the grace of Mata Mahalakshmi. Yasyam Yasyam Vishviharate Devi Great people, Shastra tells, will never use their mouths to communicate, eyes to communicate. If they have expressive eyes, they can use eyes to communicate. That is the way you have to communicate. Even the entire creation of the Lord happens with Mahalakshmi's eyeglasses. It's Talingina Paradina. He is subservient to the eyeglasses of Mahalakshmi. If she looks up, she will create greater people like you. If she looks down, she will may end up creating us, me. So her eyeglasses matter for the creation. So he looked at Sita's eyeglasses and went. That is when he falls at the feet of Dasharatha and Kaikeyi. Sapitruscharanam purvam avivadhya vinitavat avivadhyam. Avivadhyam means avivadhyam, we say, right? So you have to fall. Tado bhavante charanam Kaikeya susamahitaha. Kaikeyi said, Ram, come here. I am very happy to see you. The father wanted to convey a small change in the decision, small change in the plan. Now the plan is to meet Bharata, the higher apparent, and you have to go to the forest for 14 years. If Krishna had been there, he would have waged a war immediately. Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, Samavedha, Yuyutsavaha. Kaikeyi can't hold this book. Now, Appo Lalarna Shantamaraini Vendradamma. His eyes became even more beautiful than the newly blossomed lotus, because Operation Ravana has to be achieved. So he was looking at Kaikeyi. He said, okay, is this the change? Okay. He came back to, that is when he tells, Mannavan Padiyandragil, Rumpadi Marupano, Yedinnavan Petra Shalvam, Adiyani Petradanno. He comes back. That is when he goes and informs Kaushalya. Mata Kaushalya is in the temple. She knows that her son is going to be coronated. He falls at her feet and says, Mata, I got a small change. Now I have to go to the forest. She starts crying. All these years your father used me for washing the utensils. And today you are going to forest. He will treat me like that. I don't think I can feed her any day. It is better that I come along with you and cook for you. Ram said, see, father is taking BP tablets. So he has to be given tablets on time. So you stay here. That is the best place. Wherever he is, you stay. No problem. That is when she blesses. Like how Vinata blessed her son Garuda in Mahabharata, I bless you. So she tied 2 rings made up of 2 herbs called Santanakarani and Vishalyakarani. If you wear those rings, put those rings made of those herbs and go to the forest, even if poisonous and allergic plants touch you, nothing will happen. You don't have to take shots. So it will protect you like that. So Santanakarani, Vishalyakarani. So he went. That is when he went to Sita's home. So Sita was waiting there, and Sita had kept her suitcase ready. Dandakaranya, main road, Madhya Pradesh. She had kept all the things ready. Now, whom have you packed for? She said. Sita said, no. Once by my father's place, because Sita is a very good narrator. As per Ramayana, she gives small stories. Putti Kale Sita. Nice stories she gives. He says, in my father's house where I was there, when astrologer used to come, he looked at my horoscope and said, the girl will be living in the forest for 14 years. Having a long time vision in my mind, I planned my baggage then itself. Now and then in Aranyakanda, she'll keep telling stories. In my father's house I heard this, in my father's house I heard that. Ram thought, thank God I married you in 6 years. For that 6 years itself, I getting so many stories. And I married you at 18 and 21. He would have given more resources than the person who is delivering in retired temple. So Ram tells Sita, you don't come to the forest, you stay here for 14 years. 14 years will go just like that and come. Don't worry, you stay here. What will he do for 14 years? Sita, you watch a mega serial. It goes for 14 years. Watch. Sita said, don't worry, wherever I come, network will be available, I will watch it in my tab. So, that is when Ram tells you, you have to stay back in Ayodhya, Sita. But remember, Ram, I have to come with you. How can you make such a strong point? Because just now you told your mother that she has to stay where your father is, then the same rule applies to me. So she has eavesdropped and she is a very good advocate. So she is put. putting forth the best of the points. Rama said, no, the forest will be full of thorns. Don't worry, Rama, I will walk in front of you, remove those thorns and make the path thorn-free for you. Akantaka. He tells, Yaditvam prasthito durgam varamadhyaiva raghava agrataste gamishyami vridhanti kushakantaka. You know, Sita, the forest is filled with ferocious animals. Now, when I have you, besides me, why should I die? No, Sita, when you come, that's Ram, I will come with you. There are 14 such back and forth conversations. Finally, she says, it is my father's mistake. Why do you drag your father's name in this conversation, Sita? No. Kimtva manyata vaideha idane mithilaripaha ramajama prapya striyam purusha vigraham. Kimtva. I am talking to a person who told the world that I married Sita by showing my valor, Virya should come. But you ended up breaking a bow that was already broken. Because Shiva's bow was already broken, it had a crack. So Ram broke that. What is the use in breaking an already broken apla? Kim Tvam, you prove your valor by breaking a bow which was already broken. Tvam, you claim yourself to be the student of Vasishtha. You claim yourself to be the student who has got internship under Vishwamitra. But none of those qualities are with you. Kim Tvam Anyada Vaideha. It is my father's mistake for having gotten me married to you now. Vaideha, it is not your mistake, my father's mistake. Kim Tvam Anyada Vaideha. Because he believed that he has the ability to control the entire Videha province and the Mithila Nagaram under his single hand, under his jurisdiction. He believed that if he gets me married to you, you may also develop that quality and you can't protect me. Where will you protect Ayodhya? Kitva manyata vaideha Pita me Mithila adipaha. My father Janaka is a Karma Yogi and a Jnana Yogi. He thought that he will be a Karma Yogi or a Jnana Yogi, even an iota of that ka of Karma and Nya of Jnana has not reached you. Kimtva manyata vaideha Pita me Mithila adipaha. By having gotten you as the son-in-law, Rama Jamataram Prapya. Son-in-law is called Jamata in Sanskrit. Bharata Panchamo Vedaha Jamata Dashamo Graha. If there were to be the 10th Graham besides the Navagraham, it is the son-in-law. Because the son-in-law will end up, some of them will end up traveling more than the 9 Grahas. I am not talking about the people here. They are good Jamatas. Outside. So you go on, Ramajamataram Prapya. By having gotten you as the son-in-law, Striyam Purusha Vigraham, you are indeed a lady in the disguise of a man. Striyam Purusha Vigraham. You are like a scarecrow. You know scarecrow, the right moment in our fields they give idols to drive away the crows. You are acting as if you are a Kshatriya. No, you are not a Kshatriya. Striyam Purusha Vigraham. Ram got a shock of his life. Nobody has ever uttered such words. He went fast and closed the doors and windows. He did not want his man to go outside. The exact translation for this Tamil verse is: prestige is going in a boat. See, that is the disadvantage of translating the regional language to English. If I end up talking to Americans and I tell them prestige is going in a boat, what will they think? So you should be able to literally translate what I am telling to your regional language to understand the essence of that better. So Ram wanted to ensure that Sita doesn't talk. He said, you come. You come. You are talking all of you come. Both of them, they go outside their harem. That is when their legs are being caught. Who is catching our legs? They look down. Why should they look down? Because Ram's length was 8 feet. 8 feet says Ramayana. 8 feet. And Sita used to match him in all aspects, it seems, says Valmiki. Tulya Sheena Vayaha Vrittam Tulya Abhijana Raksham. She should be at least 6.5 or 7 feet. So imagine their height. So to look down also they will take at least 10 seconds. So they looked down. So they checked who it is. Because in those days, to be a Kshatriya, you can also measure your shoulders. Todod, Todnoka, Nadod, Nadishalum says Kambar. You look from this shoulder to that shoulder, it used to take 1 week for a good Kshatriya. With such long shoulders they used to have. Todod, Todnoka, Nadod, Nadishalum. For us, we can just put it in 1 second. So, Lakshmana had got both their feet. Sabhra-dushyaranam gadham nibidya raghunandanaha Sita uvacha atishayam raghavam cha mahabratam bhavastu sahavaideya girisanu syase aham sarvam karishyami jagrataha swapataschade. Mata Sita, I will not talk to you, Ram. I talk to my sister-in-law. Do you know to cook? He asked. She was very blunt. I do not know. Even top Ram also I do not know. At that time, top Ram also I do not know. Well, you know to wash utensils? There is a dishwasher. You know to wash clothes? There is a washing machine. You know to dry them? There is a dryer. These are all instruments that have been blessed and given to us by the Almighty. You can put all clothes together in that washing machine. You can put the kitchen cloth. You can put Mama's banyan. In many houses, Mama's banyan will be the kitchen cloth. You can put all of them together. It will go around. When it comes out, there is a yantram to dry it also. Dry it like a Paduka fryers. You should never, I am telling for those people who wear traditional attire, please don't put your dhotis in that dryer. From 10/6 or 9/5, you may end up getting a kerchief. And when you take those clothes out, it will be the mesh of pollution. Dharma kshetre, kurukshetre, samaveda, utsavaha. So these are the instruments you have been blessed with. Sita did not have that. She said, I don't know. I don't know to wash clothes, I don't know to cook, I don't know to wash utensils. She was very clear. Lakshmana said, Aham sarvam karishyami. I will do everything for you. Sita said, don't let this offer. He's telling he's coming to do all this. Please bring him along. Will anybody leave? Someone says, I'll be your driver, I'll be your cook, I'll be your servant. Will somebody leave that person? Aham sarvam karishyami. Now the population who intended to go to the forest was increasing. First it was Ram, then Sita, now Lakshmana. Kaushalya was ready to come. That is when the three of them, they both changed their dress. Because they can't go in the same Raja attire. Kaikeyi is there, she is the attire and jewelry jammer. She is waiting for them to remove their ornaments. That is when Sita removes her clothes and she wears the balkalam, the hermit dress. She is not able to wear them properly. At that point in time, Valmiki mentions the 349 wives of Dasharatha, barring the 350th one Kaikeyi. He had 350 wives. Sir, we know only of the three. What is relevant is what Valmiki will state. He doesn't have to give the attendance register of the remaining wives. It doesn't matter to us. If we know Duryodhana's name, that is more than enough. And who is there? So, they all cried. That is when Lakshmana goes and seeks the permission of his mother Sumitra, very philosophically mature Sumitra. He goes and tells Mata, I intend to go to the forest to serve Ram and Sita. Sumitra said, you committed a mistake. What mistake have I committed, Mata? You should have gone by now with them to the forest and you are coming and asking me for the permission. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi Ma Vidhi Janakatmajan Ayodhyam Adavim Vidhi Gachata Dayatha Sukham. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. Lakshmana, remember Ram is your father Dasharatha from now on. Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi Ma Vidhi Janakatmajam. In my place, see Janaka's daughter Sita. Ayodhyam Adavim Vidhi. Wherever they go, that place at that point in time is Ayodhya for you. Gachata Dayatha Sukham, happy myself. Ram Dasharatham Vidhi. Dasha in Sanskrit is 10. Ratham is chariot. Dasha also means Garuda. Ratham means Vahanam. So Dasharatham means one who has Garuda as a Vahana. Think Ram to be Narayana. Ram Dasharatham Vidhi. Ma in Sanskrit means Mahalakshmi. Ma Vidhi Janaka Atmajam. Think Janaka's daughter to be Mahalakshmi. Ayodhya Manavi Vidhi. Wherever they say that is Vaikuntham, because Vaikuntham in Shastra is also called as Ayodhya. Gachata Dayatha Sukham. So he went, then is when he sang Sitam Mayam Sridhar Tanji Sitam Mayam Sridhar She is my mother. Nanu Brahmani Chepave Sitam Madalli. Nanu Brahmani Chepave. She is my mother. Adi Shankara describes in a beautiful manner. He says, Tadilleka tanvi taparasashi vaishwalaramiyam shannam apyupari kamalanam tavakala mahapadmatavya vridamayena manasa mahantak pashyantak katichita paramanandalahari. He describes in Saundarya. Dravida Shishu Ashwararita. She gave Stanyapan to Jnana Samanta. So he treats Sita as his mother and three of them walk. That is when Kaushalya starts crying his name for his name. And now comes an important question. Lakshmana went. Many people have asked me this question. More than 1,000 discourses are given only in Ramayana. And everybody will come and ask. So, Valmiki has not mentioned about Urmila at all. Isn't she the one who has sacrificed? See, by asking such questions, we want to prove that we are better people, intelligent people than Valmiki. First, we should have that, erase that thought. We should not get over-smart at Valmiki. Valmiki is a great poet. If he has thought that he has to not mention Urmila in certain occasions, it is his right, prerogative. And he should accept the book as it is. Why he has not mentioned Urmila? If he starts mentioning about everybody, already it is 24,000 verses. Then it will go to 1 lakh verses. 1. How did Lakshmana get separated from Urmila? Poor Urmila. What do we know? Urmila would have been happy. So we should understand from Urmila's perspective. So we should not become general judges. See, what is there in Ramayana, if we understand that is more than enough. We don't have to take the out of the box thinking like that. In-box thinking. Now, people of Ayodhya, they were worried. They started crying. They knew Ram was leaving when he was walking by the streets. பிள்ளையோடு எழுத கிளர்மாடத்து உள்ளுரை பூசை எழுத ஆறு மழுத அதன் கன்று மழுத உருவரியா பிள்ளை எழுத என்றார் பெரியோரை சொல்ல வள்ளல் பரம்பூவார் என்றுரைத்த மாற்றத்தால். States number. Who all cry? பிள்ளையோடு எழுத little children, the little calves. கிளர்மாடத்து உள்உரை பூசை எழுத, even the cats that wait for the householders to get in the front so that they can get inside and drink the milk. They were also seated on the outside platforms and they were crying. Pushay aludha, aavum aludha. The cows cried. Adan kandrum aludha. Their calves cried. Uruvariya pillai aludha. Those fetuses which they had not developed in their mother's womb also started crying. They have never seen Rama. Yadiramamna paschyetu yadcharamona pashyati. Valmiki states those people who have not seen Ram or those who have not been seen by Ram, they are not eligible to live in this world. You should be either the one who has seen Ram or you should be a recipient of his grace, one of the two. Yancharamona pashyati. That is why Tyagaraja states how Dasharatha lamented. Yeti janmanidhi aboramayeti. He started crying. That is when all of them cried, Dasharatha started saying, Kushalya, has Ram left? Yes, Raja, yes, sir, but you don't worry. I know, Kaushalya, that this situation will surely arise. I was anticipating this. That is for that reason that I wanted to coronate Rama in Bharata's absence. You know, Kaushalya, whenever I used to see Ram, I used to think of an incident and I used to shed tears, and you used to ask me why, and I used to tell it is out of love, but it is out of fear, Kaushalya. While I was a young prince, I went out on a hunting expedition. I saw the deers running hither and thither, and that is when I thought I should shoot an arrow at them, but they all went missing. I heard the noise of certain animals drinking water from a pond close by. So I did not want to leave this chance. I thought the elephants were drinking water. Gajaha jalam pibanti. I took the arrow that goes behind the victim, chasing the sound from where it is being emanated. This is called Shabdavedi Kaushalya, and I left, shot that arrow from my bow. At that very moment, I heard the cry of a little boy, Amma, Made, that boy cried. I went behind that voice and I could see on that pond was a little boy of 8 years of age. The arrow had shot his chest and blood was oozing, and the boy was shivering in pain. I went and touched that boy and asked, "What's your name, my boy?" And he said, "My name is Sri.Dushyanth, Raja. My parents, both my mother and father, are blind. I carry them from place to place, and now they asked, 'My son, can you get us some water?' I came to this pond, and that is when your arrow struck me. It is okay if my fate is destined that I should die now, I have to. But please take this water to my parents and let them consume the water, and then you convey the news that I have passed away." That it is then Dasharatha states, okay, and by the time the boy passed away, we took that water to the parents, the blind parents. He gave it to them, and the moment the father touched Dasharatha's hands, he said, "This is not my son. My son will never have such rough hands. He is a tender boy of 8 years old. Who is you who has come to this place to give us water? Where is my son?" The king said, "Forgive, O old man. I am the prince of this region and I had come out hunting." So asked the father, Kaushalya. I told him, because I came out of hunting, I thought I was hunting animals, and I shot an arrow and it hit your son's chest. It hit my son's chest. Where is he now? He has passed away, and I have come to give you this water. Was I waiting for this moment where I will have to perform rites for my son? What an agony it is. I don't think both me and my wife can survive after the demise of our young son. Who is there to protect us? In a few minutes from now, Dasharatha, O king, we will pass away. But for having made such a hasty decision, you will have to repent. And we curse you that you will also be separated from your son in the late part of your life, and you will die in that agony out of that separation you keep thinking about. Kaushalya, those words of that Shravana Kumara's father is still lingering in my ears. And now has come the moment that I should pass away, I should die. That is when Sumatra comes. Sumatra, he comes and says, "Raja, I have come leaving your sons and daughter-in-law by the banks of river Ganga." What was their parting message, Sumatra? Ram said, "O king, please take care of yourself." Ram told Mata Kaushalya, "Please take care of my father." What was the parting message of my daughter-in-law? She said, please convey my regards to my father-in-law and mother-in-law and tell them that they were greater than my father and mother themselves. This is what every in-law should get the certificate of. In most marriages of our past, in Purana, both the boy side and girl side used to share the expenses. It is only now it has become cruel that the girl side should alone share, which is a very wrong thing. It is the same amount of love and affection that the parents shower on the girl as much as they shower on the boy. So if one is a beautiful, sincere, honest parent, boy's parent, they should also ensure that they pay half their expenses. This is very wrong to always burden the other side. That is why Lord Srinivasa borrowed half the money from Kubera. And he is still repaying by establishing in Tirupati and various other branches, including here. Why is he earning? So that he can repay his loan. So the interest is so high in those days when Kubera gave private lender, so very high. So it becomes very important. That is when Dasharatha asks. He was not happy with the parting message of Rama and Sita. Has my son Lakshmana given me a message? Sumantra hesitates to say, no, you tell Sumantra. He said, Noble Akshaye Pitruva, I don't regard my father Dasharatha as my father anymore, he said. So Dasharatha was happy, he stood up. Thank God, at least one son has uttered the truth. What did he say? He said, I don't regard Dasharatha as my father anymore. To me, my mother, my father, my guru and God is Ram from now on. Ramachandra Bharavayami Ramachandram Swami Bhaktim Karomi Rama 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 Ramayani Mevatinda Bhaji Subhavara Kamida Phala Kurvanama Rama 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 Ramayani. That is when Dasharatha thinks about Ram and he tells Kaushalya that my eyes are walking behind Ram. How can eyes walk? That means his thoughts, his entire body is behind Ram and I'll pass away faster. The agony was, after having given birth to 4 sons, none of them were besides him and he died. So he had to be put into an oil tank and he had to be mummified protected till the sons come and perform the rites. That is when Ram is on the other side, he reaches Shringibherapuram. Shringibherapuram was a small hamlet on the other side of Ganga where were hunters called Guha. Guha was a hunter who used to take bath only once a year. Karthikei நாள் உடம்பு விட்டு தலை குடிக்கக்கூடிய அனாச்சார பிரச்சுரனாம் இவன். Once a year, water conservation. So he used to take bath only once a year. He kept on hearing about Ram's valor through various media articles. The moment he knew that Ram was crossing this region, he ran. Mishadaram Neta Kapikulabadi Kapishavali Chela Kubjasa Tarayuvatayo Malebrati Mishadara Saukuda Suchita Saushirya Saga Bharadvaja Shasana Bharadachitra Gudagi Kadadaka Ramya Vasadara Shasaniya states Vedanta Deshika. So Guha came, he fell at the feet of Ram. Ram said, get up Guha, and he hugged. He hugged. Guha said, I'm a lesser mortal Rama, how can you hug me? Oh no, you are my friend. You know why my father has sent me to the forest? Because he was not happy with 4 sons. He wanted a 5th one and you are that one. So Guha said, I want to offer you some fruits. No, I don't take fruits outside. I am very orthodox. The next day, Ram was again served fruits and Ram consumed. Isn't he a hypocrite? Previous day he did not consume, today he is consumed. Why? Because Madhavada Mahamanikan gives the reason, great Acharya, he states, because Guha did not have the association of an Acharya, Ram did not consume it. Without Acharya Sambandham, there is no emancipation at all. Ajnana Virantasya ज्ञानाञ्जन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So there is no emancipation without Acharya. But what will Guha do? He could not go to Ivy universities and get Acharyas. So Ram thought the first day he knew he would not have an Acharya. Then he thought, I will be the Acharya to him, and he consumed the foods the next day. That night Ram was sleeping on the ground. Next day they went to Bharadwaja ashram. Bharadwaja was another rishi. He welcomed Ram. He said, Ram, you are coming to my house. My wife has made more Paduka, Paripushuli, Padai. We have made all the please come in. Ram is a very orthodox person, as I have been repeatedly telling. The only place where he took outside food was in Bharadwaja ashram. Else he would take food cooked either by Lakshmana or served by Sita. Krishna was opposite, he would consume every day. Even sweets is also named after somebody, Krishna sweets. Nobody calls it Ram sweets. So he will eat food anywhere, everywhere, all kinds of food, like from vada pav, rabeli, everything he will take. But incidentally, we don't call Sapa to Krishna, we call Sapa to Rama. What is this? Poor Rama, he has to bear the brunt. He is not having food anywhere, but it is called Sapa. So he went to Bharadwaja ashram, then he went to Chitrakuta. Chitrakuta giri kadalana ramya pasatha ananya shasaniya states Vedanta Mishra. He went to Chitrakuta. Chitrakuta is in Madhya Pradesh, on the banks of river Mandakini. If you go to India, and if your vacations is beyond 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks, please visit Chitrakuta, very beautiful place. When you visit those places, you can read the Ramayana. You have to go with that. So you listen to the lecture and go. Go on and then there. You should go there. Whenever you plan to go to a temple, today we have information at our hands. If you do Google search, Google Acharya, that is also an Acharya Samandha. That also guides you, right? And it will also help you. If you know, it knows very well that our spelling mistakes will be very high. So the moment you start typing the SEO, search engine optimization will be from below. Good to go. And it will also tell you the route, go straight, take left, take right. Everything is so easy for us today. Unlike those days where they had to make padayatras, the great sage of Kanchi Paramacharya used to walk. Great Tirukudantayanda used to walk. Today, walking inside the house itself is tough enough. So, everything is at our doorstep. Please, whenever you go to a temple, learn about the temple and go. And make it a point to spend some useful time in that temple. We go to 4 or 5 temples in the morning session. We won't even know which temple, where we went, who is there. Oh, we don't know if he's standing, sitting, sleeping. You spend so much money, he's going to read, so, they live in Chitrakuta. That is when Bharata gets a dream. Bharata is now in his uncle's house. He is not aware. Swapne vidaram draksham maryam muktam mudhajam padantam adrishikharan karushe gomaye klane. He tells Shatrugna, "Oh Shatrugna, I dreamt of seeing our father Dasharatha in a nude state, drenched in oil, sitting on a donkey, going in the southern direction and jumping up from the cliff inside a pit that is made up of cow dung." Something must have happened because there is one secret in Ramayana, Pattabhishekam Kalantaha. It talks about Swapna Shastram. If you attend on the 5th day, besides attending the 3rd day and the 4th day, if you come on the 5th day, we will talk about Trijata Swapnam in Sundarakanda. She will also tell one Swapnam. So there is some Shastram called Swapna Shastram. If you see certain kinds of dreams, there is a certain phalan associated. But people will ask, "Sir, can I tell the dream and you tell the phalan?" That is, again, there is a prerequisite. If you act as per the Shastras and you get dreams, then you can interpret. That is the prerequisite. So that itself is gone. Shastra vidhi mutsrijyam vartate kamakaratah nasa siddhimavapnoti. Because in those days there is one Shastric statement which my Acharya used to state and used to teach me. If you act as per Shastras, you will know when you are passing away. Before you are passing away, if you act as per Shastras, before you are passing away, if you stand before a mirror after you take bath, you will look like another person. That is one reason given by Shastra. You look like another person if you stand before the mirror. Nobody look at the mirror from the bottom. Then you have to call Vadyar. Second, in the middle of the sun you can see a black dot. That is an indication that you will pass away. State Shastram. Do not ask me how many people have approval, is there a patent, research paper. This is what Shastram states. Where do we look at the sun? We always take cooling glasses. Black dot. So Bharata was worried when he had such dreams. So he tells Shatrugna, we have to go. That is when the messenger from Ayodhya comes and tells, you are being asked to come to Ayodhya. Is the ruling king good now? He never asked Dasharatha is good. Ruling king good. The messenger cannot lie. Who is the ruling king? The ruling king was Dasharatha. The ruling king next was supposed to be Rama. Both of them have left. Now the third person left is Bharata. Now what is Bharata asking? Is the ruling king good? He is the ruling king. So the messenger said, yes, he is good. And they all went to Ayodhya. All of them started turning their windows. They started latching their doors. Bharata has never been meted with such an insult. He is wondering why. He goes to the harem of his mother, Kaikeyi. She is wearing a beautiful white color parampara pattu. Mother, why are you wearing white dress? Where is our dear father Dasharatha? My son, he has gone to a place where everybody is supposed to go. Where everybody is. Where is his passed away? Father is no more. Where is my brother Ram? He has gone to the forest. Because he went to the forest, he passed away. Because he passed away, he went to the forest. What has happened? No. I wanted to give this kingdom to you, Bharata. That man, Dasharatha, wretched man, wanted to give it to Ram. So I ensured that I got the kingdom for you. Are you a mother to me? You are a devil, he said. I don't treat you as a mother anymore. How dare you ask my dearest brother Ram to go to the forest? And it is because of you that I am fatherless today. I am an orphan. There is Mata Kaushalya. He ran to the harem of Kaushalya and said, Mata, please forgive me. He fell at her feet. Please forgive me. It is because of me that my mother has sought such foods and Ram had to bear the agony. Kaushalya said, Idam te rajyagamasya. You rule the kingdom well, Bharata. Don't cry. Why do you act as if you are burying? I know about you and your mother. She tells. That is when Bharata starts shedding tears. Is there no one in this Ayodhya who can understand my true nature? Have I ever thought, even the remote corner of my heart, that Ram should bear the agony? Mata Kaushalya, if I have ever thought that Ram should go to the forest and bear the pain, let these 43 kinds of hell be down upon me. He said, Yadupreshya Bhagiyasam, the one who serves, the one who ought not to be served, whatever Naraka I will get if I have ever thought that Ram should bear the pain. Hantupadena Suttangam, the one who kicks a cow and digs it up, whatever Naraka he gets. Karayitva Mahakarma Vrityavananthakam, the one who gives lot of burden to the servants who serve them. You there you go. What will they wash? So if you do that, some people say, "But we shapadu potte theri maamadu." We act as if we are all pious souls. Samshrutya yajna dakshinam satre tam chavalatam papam. You fix up with the priest that I will give you 5,000 rupees, and at the end of the yagam when he performs, they say, "Kunja korchu, 500 rupees korchu." And you get. Masmaga Rashid Sadam Yudhe, the one who does not follow the rules of a warfare. नाशयतुं सुसूक्ष्मार्थं शास्त्रम् उपदिष्टं यत्नेन धीमता. If you listen for upadesham from an acharya and somebody asks, can you tell the upadesham, and you immediately tell that upadesham, you get narakam. You should never ever disclose a mantra. If you have Gayatri mantra as your ringtone, take it away. Mantram trayate iti gayatri, gayatam trayate iti gayatri. The one that has to be protected is mantram. It has to be kept a secret. Secret means what you should not tell. Now I am going to tell you a secret. If I tell you, this will be a secret. So you should always keep Gayatri mantra as a secret. Pranava, Omkaram should not be recited. This is a pranava, sukshmartham. No sir, if you recite it in public, so many people say you get benefit. Shastram doesn't forget about the people. Now marketing has become the major step for most gurus, which is wrong. You should never ever recite a mantra in public. It should be in the mouth and nobody should know that you are reciting. This is uttama mantra. You should keep inside in the self. Then only it will give you palan. This is what Shastram tells. Now again you can ask me, no, we believe in broad-mindedness. We don't want narrow-mindedness. Then you recite and make CDs out of Gayatri. Majarakshi Vyudavakvam Chandra Bhaskara Tejasam Yajnasishta. Whoever eats food without offering to God whatever sin gets to him. Make it a point every day. Whether you cook or not, I know with a tough life here where you have to travel distances, it may be tough. But you will have some dry fruits in your house, some raisins and badam. Take 2 badam and serve the Lord. It is as if you are serving your own child. Shastram tells, Ma Bhujyata, don't ever consume food without giving it to God. You don't have to keep everything what you keep before God. At least 2 raisins you can keep. What is the harm? What is the pain? You don't have to recite any mantra. Like how you give it to your son, you don't keep it before him. If you have pain in walking till the puja room, keep a photo, small photo of the Lord in the kitchen and offer. How simple can the God get than this? Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, Yome, Natya, Kayachati. So he tells all this and he tells 43 kinds of narakas. There is no time, so I am trying to reduce. That is when Kaushalya wakes up Bharata and tells Bharata, don't cry, I know about you. I just was jovial in telling that. He said, Mata, don't be any more jovial in such matters. I cannot stand all this comedy. I am already in agony. I want to ensure that Ram comes back. So he runs, taking the entire army to bring Ram. That is when he is standing on the banks of river Ganga along with the charioteer Sumatra, who was the one who dropped the trio off on the banks of Ganga before they left to the forest. He now looks to the other side of the Ganga where Shingidera from the small hamlet where the head of the hunters called Buha was stationed along with his group of hunters. He asks Sumatra, who is that? Sumatra tells, Ganga is Karai. He is the one who owns both banks of Ganga. Ganga is Karai. He is the one who has got innumerable boats. He is the one who loves your brother more than his life. He is the one who owns the both banks of Ganga. If there is something he doesn't know, there is something called the love that he has got for Rama which he doesn't know how much he has. You know what is his name? Bharata, his name is Guha. Is he Guha? He kept his palms together and Bharata started running on the waters of Ganga to reach the other bank. On the other side, Guha was standing with his hunters. Look. Yeah, I think he looks like Rama. He is the brother to Rama who is running towards us. He is probably coming to kill Rama. All of you be ready when he comes, we need to chop him off. Then he thinks, but will a person who comes to kill be crying? His eyes look as if he has been crying for many days. I don't think so. The person who is born after Ram, how can he be a bad man? நம்பியும் என் நாயகனை ஒக்கின்றான் அயல் நின்றான் தம்பியையும் ஒக்கின்றான் தவவேடம் தருகின்றான் உப்பம் ஒரு முல்லையில திசை நோக்கி தொழுகின்றான் எம்பெருமான் பிறந்தார் இழைப்பரோ பிழைப்பு என்றார் பரதாமே. Guha said, you look like Rama's brother Bharata, right? Yes, I am Bharata. Have you come to kill Rama? He started praying. See, list of people who have always misunderstood me, you have also got me that list. I am waiting for the instance where I can have the glimpse of Rama and your calling. Why have you come, Bharata? Can I ask? Asked Guha. Two things Ram has forgotten when he left Ayodhya. What? Asked Guha. One is Ayodhya, the city, and second, me. How can he afford to leave me and come? I have come to submit myself to Ram. That is when Guha says, all these days I was thinking Ram was the mightiest and the best. But today I understand, even if 1,000 Ramas were put together, they cannot equal one Bharata. Ayiram Raman nikkedavaro therinamma. Then Bharata asked, where did my brother sleep? That is when he tells, this is the place where your brother slept. Is this the place where my brother slept? And he didn't ask where Sita slept because the earth had golden dust, and golden dust indicates where Sita has slept. Hiranya Varnam Harini. Where did Lakshmana sleep, Guha? Lakshmana, you know what? He kept on going around Rama and Sita. Why? So that nobody harms them. Were you sleeping, Guha? No, I went around Lakshmana so that nobody harms me. Were the hunters sleeping? No, they went around me so that nobody harms me. So that night only Rama and Sita managed to sleep. That time Bharata repents. Look at Lakshmana, such a fortunate brother. He is born to serve Ram, and look at me, I want to trouble Ram. He goes to Bharatwala Ashram. Bharatwala tells he is in Chitrakuta. Bharata runs. That is when, looking at an army marching towards Chitrakuta, Lakshmana stands atop a tree and says, Rama and Sita, get inside the hermitage. This wretched Bharata is coming to kill both of you. Ram says, get out. You come here, Lakshmana. I feel the materialistic pleasure to enjoy the kingdom of Ayodhya is in you and not in Bharata. When Bharata comes, I tell, Bharata, give the kingdom to Lakshmana, and Bharata, you come with me. No, Anna, I did not tell like that. Don't hurt Bharata anymore. I cannot stand that. Look at how he is coming. Bharata came with his hands together, palms together, with tears rolling down his cheeks. He came and Rama said, come and sit on my lap, Bharata. Because Jeshto Bhrata Vidru Samaha, like the eldest brother is like a father. So the eldest brother should behave like a good father. So he kissed his brother's forehead and said, why are you crying? No, and now you have to come. No, I cannot come. You know the promise that I have given. What is that promise, Anna? I know about that promise. You come. No. Then tomorrow media will talk about it. They will say, Allah is sitting for eyeball TV. Let us debate in the prime time, they will say. They will call 10 other experts and all of them will show together at the same point in time. So, all that is not required. For 14 years I will go and come. What will I do? You are not there. Lakshmana, you go get that. Lakshmana, he goes and he gets to Padukas, the holy sandals of the Lord. Ram says, keep it down, Lakshmana. He keeps it. He stands atop the sandals, gets down and says, Paduke eva bhushite, adurukyega padabhyam paduke eva bhushite. Bharata take this, Bharata kept this on his head and went. Isn't this an astonishing incident? See, I lent $10,000 to one person. He's a nice man. I trust him, I give him. 2 months later, I go to his house. Sir, you took $10,000 for me, can you give me? He says, I don't have 10,000. I have kept my sandals outside. You take that and take. Ram is being asked by Bharata. Bharata says, Rama, you come. Ram should either say, I will come or I won't come. He's telling, he's giving insult. Take those sandals and go. How did Bharata accept it? Because true people know the true value of the sandals. So these Padukas were given to Bharata. Why? Because Padukas were greater than Rama. Because Vedanta Deshika states, this incident in Ramayana where Rama asks Lakshmana to get the sandals, Rama standing on the sandals, then asking Bharata to take the sandals. This is just 3 to 4 verses in the entire Ramayana. But this has been expanded into 1008 verses by Vedanta Deshika in one jamam called Paduka Sahasram. It's an achievement. To even recite Paduka Sahasram, it will take more than 5 hours. But how he composed within that time period is a wonder. Because people who list these 7 wonders in the world, they are not aware of what wonders we have in our country. Isn't this a wonder? We speak about John Milton's Paradise Lost. Look at Paduka Sahasram, you'll be amazed at the science of it. I will give you an instance of where this knowledge comes. There is a paddhati called Chitra Paddhati Paduka Sahasram. If you read that, you will know how beautifully he has designed verses. Imagine a Sanskrit verse with 2 lines. First line, there are 2 parts, part A, part B. Line 2, 2 parts, part C, part D. So part A, part B, part C, part D, 4 parts, 2 lines, each part having 8 letters. 8 into 4, 32. 32 letters in one shloka, it is called Anushtup. That is why you say Anushtup Chandaha. If you take away 8 letters, it becomes 24 lettered shloka. So it is called Gayatri. 24 lettered mantra is Gayatri. Gayatri is not the name of the next door mommy. It is the name of a meter. Meter's name mommy has taken. So there is a Gayatri for every Devata, for Vishnu Gayatri, Lakshmi Gayatri, and there is a Gayatri for Surya. It is called Savitri, which is the most famous Gayatri. Gayatri Chandasa Mata. So, Vedanta Deshika has composed one verse. The beauty of this verse is the first line has 16 letters. Second line has 16 letters. Take the first letter of the first line, second letter of the second line, third letter of the first line, fourth letter of the second line, fifth letter of the first line, sixth letter of the second line. You will get one line, right? That will be the first line again. You do the reverse, you will get the second line. And if you arrange these letters in a certain format, in a chessboard format, you will get the movement of a knight, how a knight moves. Because in chessboard, every object that you can, be it a pawn, be it a knight, be it a queen, be it the king, they have got certain movements. They can go only this way, that way. So this movement has been mentioned by Chaturanga Bandhani. Extremely intelligent poet he was. If you get into Paduka Sahasram, nothing as beautiful as that. There he talks that the entire world is a creation of Brahma. Brahma is a creation of Narayana. Narayana is born as Rama. So Ram is being supported by the Padukas. So Ram is greater than the Padukas. We are getting the formula A is greater than B, E is greater than C, C is greater than B. So A is greater than B. Creation created by Brahma. Brahma created by Narayana. Narayana is Ram. Ram is supported by Padukas. So Padukas are greater than Ram. So if Bharata asks for Ram, he gets greater than Ram called the Padukas. Second, he gives another description. It seems Ram had to pawn something worthy at the pawnbroker Bharata's shop. You know what pawning is? Adadu. Kannadalli ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಹೇಳಿ? ತೆಲುಗುలో ಅಡಗ ಪಾನಿಂಗ್ అంటే ఏంటి? ఇప్పుడు చూస్తుంది హిందీలో ఏంటంటే తెలియదు. So pawning. So he had to pawn at Bharata Papa Lal. At Bharata Alman, no Bharata Papa Lal, he had to pawn that. So generally this chain, I'm just giving you an example. This is 10,000 rupees. I mean, 10,000 rupees. If I pawn it, how much will I get roughly? So, roughly, let us think he's a benevolent pawnbroker, Dayavan pawnbroker, he gives us 3,000 rupees. So, ultimately, if I pawn an object, I may end up getting a money which is not even half its value. Ram has to accomplish the task of annihilating the demoniac forces who have been tormenting the selfless rishis. So he has to walk by the forest till Dandakaranyam, till the south, go to Lanka and come back. To accomplish this, he has to be in the forest. To accomplish this, he should not go to Ayodhya, but he has to convince Bharata. So Bharata is the pawnbroker. Only if he pawns something which is more than twice his value to Bharata, will he be able to take half the value which is him to the forest. So he pawned his padukas which were twice his value to Bharata and took away himself as the half worth and went to the forest. Vedanta Deshika gives, nobody could have ever thought like that except this person. Great scene. Padavani prabhavato jagatantrayanam ramadapitvamadhiganiyatam prabhavat nochet kathannu bharatasya tameva dipso pratyayanam paripadam bhavati bhavitri. In one another verse, Paduka Sahasram is a gem. In my life, if somebody has to ask which is the desire that you have, I will say that I will have to be subservient to Vedanta Deshika throughout my life. His intellect and brain is beyond human comprehension. He tells in one another verse. Paduka in Sanskrit, most words that end with akarartham are strilinga vachaka shabdam. Uma, Rama, Saumya, Rama, Sita, Paduka. So Paduka in Sanskrit is a strilinga vachaka shabdam. Sita is a strilinga vachaka shabdam. But Vedanta Deshika says Ram was married to Paduka even before he got married to Sita. Correct. Even before marrying Sita, he would have had Padukas. So he is legally married to Paduka before marrying Sita. Amongst these two wives, who is more obedient? He tells Sita, you don't come to the forest, she comes. Don't ask for the deer, she asks. Whereas he tells Padukas, you come to me with me to the forest, it comes. Go back to the Ayodhya with Bharata, it goes. So will he like the obedient Paduka or disobedient Sita? Asks Vedanta Deshika. Abhyuge Vinritti Sahasa Devi Rangamati Ratnamaruke Atyashena Bhavati Mahiyasa Bharatantra Vidhena Maitri. In another Paddhati which is called Maragala Paddhati, which talks only about emerald. It seems one layer of emerald stones, green stones were studded on the open surface of Padukas, which Bharata was quoting. Bharata also means Bhava Raga Talam, which is the essential component of Bharata Natyam, whose hero is Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva quotes Rama Padukas. That is why he says Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varaname. When he speaks about Ramanama, he quotes Rama Padukas. Now there is a layer of green stones. Now what happens? Chandramoulishwara has moon on his head. So the rays of the moon strike upon the green stones and a green light emanates, it seems. And this green light looks like Arughampul. Arughampul is a grass which is given to Lord Ganesha. So it looks like Arughampul. Lord Shiva has one deer here. So the deer thinks that this is grass and it starts pouncing upon that, it seems. That is when Shiva tells, no, this is not grass, it is a ray of light. This is one shloka. Every verse is a masterpiece. There is one another verse. He tells that there is a male lion, Mr. Lion, Mrs. Lion, and Chota Lion. Lion family. They are all watching some serial in a cave. That is when a 10-trunked elephant comes and emanates a sound outside the cave. And hearing the sound, the male lion with the female lion and the baby, the cub, they walk till the gateway of the cave. And the male lion tells the female lion, you take the cub inside, I will manage this elephant, and goes. He says that this is Ramayana. Do we understand? Okay. What is this cave, Ayodhya? Who is the male lion? Rama. So he is seated with female lion and small cub in Ayodhya. Then that is when Rama hears the sound, the arrogant sound of the 10-headed Ravana. So they walk till Chitrakuta, which is the gateway of the cave. And Rama tells, you take this small cub inside the cave, I will manage Ravana. He goes to Lanka and kills Ravana and comes. Who is the female? Female is Paduka. Then Chota one? Bharata. Sita is not here. Remember this very well. Because here one wife is also Paduka. So the female mother one is Paduka. The little child, the cub is Bharata. So we believe that Bharata carried the Padukas to Ayodhya. Vedanta Deshika says no. Padukas carried Bharata to Ayodhya. Because when they support Rama, how can Bharata carry them? Now when Bharata went back to Nandigram, he did not go to Ayodhya because he felt if he goes to Ayodhya, he will have to enjoy the opulence what kings enjoy. But he wanted to witness and experience the same agony what Ram would be experiencing in the forest. So he lived in the outskirts of Ayodhya in a place called Nandigram and used to do Abhishekam to the Padukas using the waters of Sarayu. So he used to do the Abhishekam, Shatrugna used to do the fanning service. Why? Because Vedanta Deshika gives a very beautiful incident. In Vaikuntha once what happened? The Lord had gone for a bath. So he kept the Shankam, Chakram, Gada, Kaumodaki, all his weapons and his holy sandals on Adisesha. Now, as soon as the Lord went, the weapons started talking to Padukas telling, how dare you are after all the Bata footwear and you are sitting at par with us, though you may be 999 only. We are all much valuable, we are all Sudarshana Chakram and Panchajanya, how dare you sit at par with us? So Paduka started beating it. The Lord came back from the bath and the Padukas, he saw them being upset. So he asked the Padukas, why are you upset? They said, see, the Paduka said, look at your weapons, they are treating me so badly. Don't worry, there will be one time where they will celebrate you. That is why the same Padukas were worshipped by Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Avatara, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrugna in Padukas ashram, states Vedanta Deshika. There is another instance. When Ram has to construct Setu to Lanka, he has to get the clearance of the authority who is Ocean King. Ocean King doesn't come for 3 days. He is expecting something. You know something? Something that? Under the dimensional Please come back. Stay for 1 year. See, my grandfather used to work for State Bank of India. You know that bank? It was called Imperial Bank in the British regime. So he used to sport tie and big turban. We never used to match. Bro with tie. He used to go to the office. But before he got the job, he went and informed his grandmother in Kumbhakonam. You know Kumbhakonam? Purandaradasa sings. Darage Dakshina Kaveri Tira Kumbhapuravasa. He went to Kumbhakonam and informed his party. Party! I got the government job. In those days, government job and moksha were treated at party. If you have a government job, they will say, Kanda, what are you doing? So, he went and informed. Party got a government job. Party was churning. You know that churning process, the Kadaiva. In those days, Ayodhya when lectures used to happen, women used to take buttermilk in a Horlicks bottle and go. By the end of it, you get that butter. So, that is the only benefit of staying in Upanyasam. So, he went and informed his party. His party said, you go and take the blessings of Garuda in Madhurantakam. My grandfather was wondering, in Kumbhakonam, every third house is a temple. So why should I leave Kumbhakonam and go all the way to Madhurantakam, that too to see Garuda? But he did not want to disrespect his grandmother's words. Dillik Raja Nalo, Party Sholai. So he went to Madhurantakam, he had the darshan of Lord Rama, Karunakaran, and looked at Garuda there. Garuda has got 4 hands there in Madhurantakam. 2 above, 2 beneath. He's going for a government job, right? So this something, the Ram thought, Samudra Raja is expecting something. But he got angry. How dare he doesn't answer my prayers. Prayopavesham, I have fasted for 3 days like Hazare, but he has not come. So he immediately said, Chavamalaya Saumitre, the son of Sumitra, Lakshmana, go get me my bow and quiver of arrows. Lakshmana Lakshmana is an angry young man who's waiting for the fight. But today he brought a little arrow. Now what is this? When I need you the most, you are bringing the small arrow. Bring the bigger arrow. He brought slightly a bigger arrow. Then what has happened to you, Lakshmana? Every day you are the one who will serve me with the quiver of arrows and go immediately, and today you are giving me the smaller ones. Why? What has happened? Because Lakshmana knew one secret. What had happened? The Padukas were being worshipped by Bharata. Bharata used to do Abhishekam to the Padukas using the Sarayu Tirtham. So, the waters that have come out of Paduka Tirumanjanam Abhishekam would go again and get mixed with Sarayu, which will again go to the ocean. So, the ocean has Paduka Tirtham. So, even if Ram wants to win over the ocean, he cannot win. He did not want Ram to lose the battle, so he kept delaying the process, states Vedanta Deshika. Water, he brings this out in one verse. He says, Sambidhyamana tamasa sarayupanitaihi sambardhitastava shubhair abhishekatoyaihi manyeva bhuva jaladhir manipada rakshe ramastra palavashikha bhirasoshaniyaha. If I have to talk about more such instances, there are many verses that I can talk about Padukas also. But what we need to understand is Padukas are to be respected in the Lord Himself. That is why in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, Paduka Aradhanam is given very, very high importance. And the Paduka Pattabhishekam is even greater than Rama Pattabhishekam. Why states Vedanta Deshika? Because even Ram, after he was coronated during his regime, he still find one fault with him. He should have not sent pregnant Sridhar to the forest. Whatever said and done, we are unconvinced of that answer. So even when Ram ruled, there is one fault which you can find with him. But when Padukas ruled for 14 years, Vedanta Deshika says not a single fault could be found. Because the devotees are greater than the Lord. How? Vedanta Deshika states, when you walk on Usman Road, during May, Agni Nakshatram, Gatri, afternoon 12 o'clock you are walking. Now I am giving you a choice. You can either sport footwear or you can put a cap. Which one will you choose? Both the footwear. But the beauty is, the scorching rays of the sun directly come from the sun and hit on your head. And you are able to bear it without the cap. But the scorching rays of the sun fall on the earth and the earth radiates it back to your foot, which you are not able to tolerate. Even if the Lord tests our sincerity as the sun tests our head, we can tolerate it. But if the Bhagavatas, the devotees who resemble the earth, who receive the Lord's grace and test us, we cannot tolerate it. So, the Lord's Padukas are more important than the Lord Himself. So more than Sita, Rama, Pattabhishekam, it is Paduka Pattabhishekam which is important. That is why Tyagaraja states, Sandeta Muti Pumaiya Saketa Nilaya Ramaiya. So Sandeha Muti Pumaiya, I got a doubt whether it is your holy feet which is more important or your holy sandals. Ni Paduka Yugamudu Nero states Tyagaraja. So we have had the opportunity to discuss Paduka Sarasam today in 2 hours, 10 minutes, 53 seconds lecture. I had to forcefully bring the essence of 7,500 plus shlokas of Ayodhya Kandam. Tomorrow we will have the opportunity to discuss Shabari Moksham and Jatayu Moksham. So 2 important Moksha Vrittantams tomorrow, the major section of Aranya Kandam. Many questions which we have in our mind, many things that we have always misunderstood about Ramayana will get answered tomorrow. So please do come tomorrow as well. And the day after is Sugriva Pattabhishekam. And the 5th day, the gem of all, Sundara Kandam, Anguliya Pradhanam. And the last day is Vibhishana Sharanagati and Rama Pattabhishekam. I know that except the last day, all these 5 days are weekdays, but somehow try to manage and reschedule your work and try to come on all these days. Kavita Gita Simhaya Kalyana Vashalini Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha Swasti Prajapati Pariparayakam Nyayena Margena Muktisha
गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु.